Hello, this is Two Ladies Midwest Adventures. I'm Julietta, and we are reading The Days of the Martyrs. We are on chapter 2, part 4, I think. As we have seen, Caligula, a vicious, unbalanced egomatic, succeeded to the throne in AD 37, was determined that the Jews, if they were unwilling to worship Jupiter, Apollo, Mars, and other traditional Roman gods, would nonetheless worship him. It had been the custom in the preceding half-country to worship the emperor's genius, or protecting spirit. But an emperor enrolled as a full-fledged god only after death, Caligula was first emperor to insist on being worshipped, personally as a god, in his own lifetime. Around the 40th year, he made plans to have a statue of himself erected into the Temple of Jerusalem. Then he would compel the Jews to offer sacrifice to him as well as their Jehovah. The emperor's advisors warned him that such action would lead to revolution. Should Caligula abominate the temple of the Jews, Bedlam would break loose in Palestine, and the inevitable rebellion could be suppressed only with such violence and bloodshed as would cause the emperor's name to stink forever. Unwilling to listen to reason, Caligula sent orders to Petronius, governor of Syria, to erect a statue. Petronius immediately replied that his conscience forbade him to comply with such an ill-advised command. Dang. Imagine not listening to the leader because they aren't being smart with what they're doing. Especially someone in that kind of position, though. They can just order your death. In the meantime, Herod Agrippa staged a lavish banquet for Caligula. Flushed with wine, magnificent spread of the kind that the extravagant prince loved, Caligula, flushed with the wine and high spirits, bade Agrippa ask him for a boon. And Agrippa's uncle Antipas had declared to his stepdaughter, Salome, a decade earlier. Caligula said, "I'll give you anything you desire, just name it." Agrippa asked Caligula to respect the wishes of the Jews and not place a statue in their temple. Caligula was taken aback, but he felt he could not go back on his word. Agreeing with Forigo, his pet project, he vented his wrath on the uncooperative governor, Petronius, who he had ordered to commit suicide. Happily, before that message reached Syria, Petronius received the word that, along with his wife and daughter, the tyrant had been butchered by his bodyguards on January 24, 41. Claudius, who succeeded Caligula, granted his old friend Agrippa control of his grandfather's old dominions. Upon his arrival in Israel, Agrippa did everything possible to ingratiate himself from the Jewish leaders. He moved the capital back from Caesarea to Jerusalem, and at least in public, scrupulously observed the Jewish law in his aim to please the most influential of his new subjects. Agrippa began another persecution of the Christian community. The new king felt that he needed the support of the high priestly house of Annas, as well as that of the rich and powerful Sadducees. Although he probably could not have cared less about the teachings of Jesus, in order to to consolidate his base of power, Agrippa began to take action against the Christians. In AD 43, he arrested James, the son of... Hi! Love you, Grandpa. He arrested James, the son of Zebedee, one of the 12. The former fisherman was hauled before the Sanhedrin and tried for blasphemy. Witnesses declared that the prisoner had preached for years that God had made himself known in human flesh, in the person of a carpenter from Nazareth named Jesus. The legislative assembly quickly sentenced the apostle to death. Evidently, a Roman citizen, James, was condemned to die by decapitation rather than crucifixion. As James was being escorted to the place where his head would be struck from his body, one of the witnesses at his trial appeared. Will you please forgive me, sir, for bringing about your death? James was silent for a while, then embraced the men and declared, Peace be with you, brother. Peace be with you, my brother. The repentant witness, of course, arrested. He declared himself to convert to Christianity and was executed along with the apostle. Dang. Imagine snitching and then just doing exactly what the person you snitched on was doing. That's unfortunate. Peter was also arrested, and Herod Agrippa intended to kill him too, but the leader of the apostles mysteriously escaped from prison, and disappeared from Palestine. Agrippa probably intended to comply with the wishes of high priests and seduce in eradicating the followers of Jesus from his dominions, but he stayed in his unhallowed plans. By the hand of death in spring of 44, Agrippa had proceeded over Thanksgiving celebrations for his friend Claudius' successful military campaign in Britain. Several days of the Roman-style games, the king entered the stadium dressed in glittering clothing of silver and was given a resounding ovation by the spectators, most of whom were pagans. Without any objection from the king, the crowds hailed him as God. Shortly after he was seated, Agrippa was seized with violent abdominal pains and had to leave. 5 days later he died, apparently of gonadry of the bowel. With Agrippa's death, his dominions were reorganized into a procuratorial province of Palestina. The new governor, Cepus Fadus, took no action against the Christian community, which began to recover indeed. For 18 years, Christians were left in peace. The head of the Christian community in Jerusalem was James the Righteous, a man known as the Lord's brother. Protestants believe that James was the son of Mary and Joseph, born after Jesus. The Catholic Church teaches the perpetual virginity of Mary and describes him as a cousin. Eusebius believed that James was Jesus' stepbrother. James was an extraordinary holy man. The 2nd century historian Hegesippus related that he was, in fact, holy from his birth, like John the Baptist. James drank no wine or any alcoholic beverage and was a vegetarian. He never cut his hair or beard, never bathed. He spent so much time on his knees in prayer that his knees grew hard and calloused like a camel's. Like the young Paul, James was a devout Pharisee, and he was at first embarrassed and angered by Jesus. It was only after the resurrection, when Jesus appeared to James, that the righteous one was converted. Even then, he strongly insisted the new Christians keep the Jewish law and its attendant regulations. He had several run-ins with Peter and Paul, who demanded to know how he could ask converts from paganism to keep law with which neither they nor their ancestor would successfully comply. In AD 49, it was agreed when all the surviving apostles met in unicameral council in Jerusalem that the converts to the faith from paganism would be required to keep only the laws forbidding immortality, apostasy, and murder. But the converts from Jerusalem were bound to the eternity of the Judaic legal system, including the practice of circumcision. James not only was zealous for the law of Moses, he was also enthusiastic in his devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, who must have gone to her heavenly home during this period. In the fixed portion or ordinary of the liturgy, liturgy, which James allegedly composed for the Jerusalem Christians, is the prayer, Hail Mary, highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. For thou didst bear the Savior of our souls. Hail in the highest, our all holy, pure, most blessed, glorious Lady, the God, Mother, and ever Virgin Mary. Okay, that's sweet. Definitely different from the one I normally say, but still nice. Okay, I'm going to stop it there for now. Stay blessed, make the world a better place, one person, one moment at a time. Like and subscribe so we can get to 1,000 to start beekeeping. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Say hi.
Hi. Like and subscribe so we can get to 1,000 subscribers so I can start beekeeping.